when this screen,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Mhm.
I figured there had to be some technical way that we would do that.
There you go.
All right.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to something different. And if you were on, I'll go through the little spiel I have. If you're on Facebook and you're with us for the very first time and you'd like to watch our show and shop with us, you'll need to register. So you'll go up to the comment bar and type in register, and then you'll create a password, put your first name, last name, your email address, and then come back and watch our show. And then you can shop with us at the end of the show. If you're on our app, you're all set and ready to go. And so that is really the easiest way to view all of our videos, all of our classes. You can watch them up to a year. So you could watch it now, you could watch it tonight or a couple months from now. And then you're also all ready to shop. We are also on other platforms, social media platforms like Instagram and
Oh, yeah.
we're not on TikTok today, but
Facebook.
Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and let's see, Twitch,
Snapchat.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I always
Oh, the
forget
big
you,
one.
and that's the big one. Yeah, but and you're not able to shop there yet, but hopefully very, very soon. Our shipping is $8, and it's free with a $75 purchase, and we will combine orders for a 24-hour period. And so if you buy something this afternoon during Kimberbell, then we'll combine the order and you'll get free shipping. So it looks like people are starting to come on. So we have a few people saying hello to us. And I guess we're going to try and bring back Surger Saturday, but not on Saturday. We're going to do it during the week. So sometimes on Wednesdays we'll be doing surging also. So I think everybody will be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So
We're definitely doing Surger. The next projects, we're doing the little boy shorts.
Which are so cute.
And we're going to do those on the Surger, most of it on the Surger. And then after that, I'll give you the sneak peek. There's a pattern. Can we do the overhead?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is the Aloha dress.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, my right place. Oh, there you go. I've made this one before. It's not a children's corner. It's a different pattern. It's super easy. It's little wedges, so you can make it as full and as twirly as you want. But it's all batik fat quarters. And the top of it is plain, and the straps from the front go to the back, and you can see the back there's a little bow. It's just a little trick with the
That's
back.
a really
it's
cute
really
pattern.
Cute. And we can do most of that on the Surger. So that was my idea too, to do that one. So we'd have the next couple weeks of projects are definitely going to be Surger oriented.
That's good. And what size does that one come in?
This one, Oh, sizes 2 to 8.
Oh, that's another good one.
Yeah, and I think there's a bodice piece to it. The skirt is just, again, it's just a wedge. So you can put as many wedges onto it as you would like to make it full. So that's cute. And we're ordering the batiks now. So that one will be probably 3 weeks, I think.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have a good couple weeks of surging, though.
Okay.
All right. So today we're finishing the Lillian, which Lillian is 18 months to 14. And I actually have the 18-month that we're going to finish today. I finished the balloons. I finished this one because I thought you should see how to finish from the point where it's different.
From that one.
Yes, from the border print. And the border print, I'm working on the directions. Janine is not here this week. And so I'm at the cash register and I'm trying to be Janine and type it, and it's not going well.
No,
so I might be taking it home tonight and doing it on my own. But the instructions for doing the border print, it'll be on our website, I promise.
Okay.
So, and we still have the kits for the blue, and I have to laugh because PJ named this, and he named them blue and yellow because of the flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and the buttons are blue and yellow on the dress accordingly.
Oh, good. These are really cute
So,
buttons.
aren't they?
Look at those.
The
Yeah.
other thing I thought, if you're doing this, that like you could do this blue, that would be a really nice button, and this
Mhm.
little yellow grouping would be a really nice button that
Yeah.
would still
Yeah, you must
stand
have
up
done
on
this
that.
one.
I
Oh,
did
yeah.
this
And
one.
then,
I did this one, yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then on this one it was this flower, which was a little bit more prevalent on that one.
Mhm.
But and then this one has all the fun balloons.
Mhm.
So, all right. So today we are using the Solaris. The chorus left us. It
Okay.
went back to the other building.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. So let's see.
all right. So this is where we were when last we left off. We had stitched the neck and we had stitched the armholes, but on that one we went ahead and stitched the bottoms. On this one you don't, and it tells you in the directions. So this dress is a really easy dress. Look at the minimum. There's not a whole lot of directions to it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They even have blank spots
And they have
on the
blank
fake.
spots. Yeah. Look, half of it's
Really
blank on
cute
the back.
though. Yeah.
So we stitch the neckline and we stitch the armholes, and then we do the magic of pulling them through.
Mhm.
This one has little polka dot lining.
Mhm.
There wasn't anything with balloons or party horns or anything, so we just went with that. And so you're always going to pull the back pieces through the front, because then you're only pulling the back. Otherwise, you'd be pulling the front and the other back through. So you want to make sure you always do it this way. All right, so there's one.
Mhm.
And then we have the other one. We do a lot of magic. We were working on those roll-up pillowcases yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's what Kathleen and I were going, oh, look, let's magically do this.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we're technically amateur magicians. We're not real ones.
Or
but
sewing magicians.
Sewing magicians, yeah.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get it through, yeah, there you go. Once you get it through that it's a little bit wider, it pulls through a lot easier. And I think, is the iron on? I
No,
thought I
here, we'll
said
put it on.
Okay.
Okay.
So we do have our Panasonic iron, which we love,
Yes.
and our pressing mat. So once you pull those through, there we are. And I do have my precision tool. I forgot is in my bag.
Okay. You're looking for your point
My
turner.
point turner.
Yeah.
Okay, point turner. Very nice to have.
Yeah, I use that all the time.
And I'm surprised that, you think it wouldn't be as sharp of a turn, but it really is.
Mm-hmm.
Because the point is rounded, which is a lot safer than I've seen people do seam rippers and different things to poke through. And
Yeah, or the tip of a scissor, and then
you're just asking
well,
for a
they
big hole.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's get you back through there. All right, there it goes. All right, so we are going to press this out, and what you want to do is you want to match the backs. You want to match the side seams, because matching that is going to give you your facing on the inside of the dress.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are we blinking or are we good?
Oh, are you ready?
Yeah, we are
We're gonna
good.
move it
Okay,
over.
yeah, I'm going to move that over and we'll bring the iron closer. There we go.
Very good.
This is our favorite iron.
It is nice and lightweight. Okay.
Is that the Panasonic?
That's the Panasonic.
Yes. Mhm.
Yep,
Looks
the
high
cordless
with
one.
ceramic bottom.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It has a
Yes.
double point, which we love because then you can, you have a point at either end.
And
And it's just a really nice weight. It feels really good in your hand.
it has
as a-
enough weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it will also fit like in your larger hoops. You can put that right in there to press.
I love my iron! Exclamation!
Boy,
Exclamation!
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, as you start to, get more equipment and use more equipment, you do find things that you absolutely love and you can't live without.
Mhm.
And it seems silly to be excited about an iron, but we are. All right, then the front. There's nothing tricky to the front. Just match it.
I think I got an iron for
Stitch it.
Christmas from my mom about 15 years ago, and I still use it every day.
Do
almost.
you use it every day?
You press your
It's an
clothes?
Aliso.
An Aliso. I
Nice.
have that one. I
Yeah,
don't
I do
have this
too.
one yet. When my Aliso, when I'm done with that, I'll get this. But yeah, so it stands up by itself.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
It's
a
the
nice.
yellow one.
That's
We-
I,
oh, you
I
got a
have
yellow
that
one?
one.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a
Mhm.
nice iron.
Mine's, I think
Mhm.
mine's turquoise.
Yeah, mine is blue.
That's a very thoughtful gift because you would not buy that yourself. would you?
Yeah, you wouldn't buy a nice
don't
one
think I
like that.
would've,
You'd
no.
go and buy one at.
You go to Walmart and you'd find the
Okay,
cheapest
cheaper.
iron.
Mhm.
You think, oh, that'll do.
But you probably iron your clothes because your mom ironed. A
She
lot of
did.
people don't iron, and then they
She ironed my clothes before school and everything.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you got in that habit. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Hmm.
That's a really nice mom.
Yeah.
My son-in-law, I don't know how we ended up talking about it, but it was about packing your lunch.
Yeah.
And my daughter said, oh, his mother always packed his lunch. I said, do I feel like a bad mom now because I made my kids pack their own lunch?
Oh. Hmm.
I figure you have to learn that somehow. Until the boys were in middle school, and
Hmm.
they packed their lunches from about first or second grade, but I had to check their lunches to see what was in them in middle school because I think they were packing just like ho-hos and
Oh, yeah.
nothing nutritious.
Hmm.
Okay, so once that is all nice and smooth, what you're going to do is we're going to go to the machine and we are going to stitch. You want to stitch the front to the back. And it's going to be one continuous seam. It's going to go, oh no, we're not, yes, we are doing that.
Okay.
I had a momentary
Yeah.
blip there.
Hmm.
All right, we're going to match our seam, which since it's pressed to one side, I am going to just leave it that way so it doesn't mess up the underneath. And it's not too bulky because it's just cotton. But if you match one side, pin it through, looking at the other side in the same way. Oops, that one didn't get close enough. Okay, so my pin will be that the pin goes through the stitching lines.
Mhm.
Then we're going to stitch it from the lining. I like going, because this isn't the bottom up, it's going to be the bottom up and then the top down. I like to do it this way so that my seam is going in the direction that I'm sewing and it'll keep it flat.
Okay.
And I brought a needle today.
Oh, good.
We
have
were
a
always looking for a needle.
needle.
We don't do a lot of handwork,
No,
so
we
we don't
don't.
always
We-
have needles. But I
We do as
thought I'd
much on
bring
the
one.
machine as we can.
All right, and then we go down to the fabric side. It's a little snug because remember the back is not the same size. The lining is a little bit shorter, so it makes it a little tighter. Now this one feels like it needs a few more pins in it. I don't know if it's a little slicker than the other one. All right, so that's one side. And then we're going to do the other side. I feel like I'm at home with all the little fuzzies everywhere. And again, so we're going to match our seam. And you can see when it's pressed, it goes towards the garment for some reason. Maybe that's the heavier fabric. Don't know. All right, so you match up your seam. Oh, that one. Lucked out on that one
Oh,
first
good.
time.
Yeah. Mhm.
I like this. This had these little polka dots on them.
Mhm. Yeah, we don't like solid, especially solid white.
Yeah, it's kind of fun in a dress to.
Mhm.
I did a prom dress years ago, and it was the girl was going to be an art major, so she had a very different eye, and the top of it, she brought peacock feathers, and so I put peacock feathers on this whole thing. Well, fast forward a few years, and she calls, and her daughter was going to a formal, and they wanted me to do her dress.
Oh, really?
And
wow.
so it was, say it was green, but it needed a lining, and she hadn't brought the lining, and so I went to the store, and I thought, I cannot do a solid color lining. So I put a polka dot lining in her dress, and she was most happy with it.
Oh, I bet.
I think a girl with peacock feathers cannot possibly want something plain.
Right.
So they were very, and they were away, so I couldn't even call her. I just thought, I'm just going to do this. So it turned out really cute. But I have the picture of that prom dress permanently in my sewing collection, just because it was so different. And people were like, well, how did you do that? What's it? And actually, it was really pretty. It was very elegant, and it had sort of a chiffon thing around it. It was really, really very pretty. Okay, now we're going to the machine.
Okay.
I'm coming.
All right.
I hope we're going to the machine.
Yep, we're coming.
So all of the feet that we're using are feet that come with your machine. So everyone will have an R foot, which is for the blind hem. You'll have the buttonhole foot. It just might look different. The buttonhole foot, I think, is the only one that really looks different on the different machines. Okay.
Okay.
Slide in here.
Yeah. Because we can move.
Okay, we're going to sewing.
Yeah, we'll move this.
We are going to use stitch 1-03. We are using the 1/4 inch foot. I don't think, once they get above the basic feet, they don't have numbers or letters. This is just the 1/4 inch foot with guide, which comes with this machine. All right, and we're doing a 2.5. Okay, we're using a 2.5 inch length. We're going to do the automatic reverse, the automatic cut, and the automatic presser foot lift. So once you do that, your stitch will always start and lock it. And on this one, I definitely would use the 1/4 inch seam allowance, because this one does not really have a lot of, hasn't a lot of fabric in it. So I think you're safer using the 1/4 inch. On a fuller dress, I don't mind doing a little bit bigger, like go crazy and do a 3/8 inch. And when you get to this, if you can stitch as close as you can before taking out the pin, but do take out the pin. Your seam should stay down. And it's a little tricky, but you can get the fabric all under on the left side. Okay. Okay, and then because this one has this stitch has the two little lines, that means it's going to go in reverse and then come forward to lock it. And that is the button that matches it. Okay, and then we're going to do the other one. Okay, you do the same thing to the other side. I like the guide on this because it really does keep your fabric from shifting over. And I guess for quilters, they're used to using a 1/4 inch.
Do you need a? Oh, you got a pin dish. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I think I'm losing my pins. Again, we're getting close to the seam, so you want to slow and take the pin out. I think they got caught on themselves. All right, I don't feel any. I think some of the pins were coming out.
Okay,
And they were getting
let's see.
caught underneath. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Okay, there we go. Okay,
Okay.
so we're going to the iron.
Okay, we'll make sure that's, there you go.
Okay, so we are going to press this open.
You're going to the Panasonic 360 cordless
Yeah, that's-
ceramic
With a
yeah.
ceramic
iron.
bottom.
Or the
Yes, we are.
ceramic bobbin and the double pointed ends.
With
Yeah,
the double pointed edge. Yes.
yeah.
Not just any iron.
Nope.
No, this is,
As long as you don't lose your marbles. That's right. I feel like I've lost my marbles. It's Mercury in retrograde again.
Okay, again, it's always good to start it. And then you just go straight up. I probably would do this on my ironing board because I could let it flip over. But
yeah, you
this
could
also
wrap it
works.
around the ironing
Yep.
board.
and if you have the ironing board with the wool mat on it, it would be even nicer. All right.
Sure. I
Flip
heard
it
your
this way.
sons are coming.
Oh, they are?
Is that what you said?
Oh, yes, they might be here. They might even show up while we're doing this. You
Are
never
they going
know.
to sew
really?
something?
Are they going to come here into the store?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
that'd be nice.
Yes, my son is here from Florida, and I have twin sons. And so my son Greg, who lives here, took the day off to hang with his brother and his fiance. And so they were going to stop in, because what else would you do but visit your mother at work?
Yeah.
So yeah, and Tim, my son in Florida, has twins, boy-girl twins that are 2.5, Des and Maggie. And so the balloon dress that I've finished is for her for their 3rd birthday.
Mhm.
This balloon dress is for Avery, PJ's little girl, for every day because she just likes balloons.
Yeah,
Loves
yeah.
balloons.
She loves balloons. Okay,
Oh.
great.
Yeah.
And how long can they stay? Or will your son
My
stay?
son is here until Saturday. So
Mhm.
I'm taking tomorrow off, and we're trying to decide. We were going to go to the Clipper, do the Clipper and stuff, but I think tomorrow's the day to do it, not Friday, because I think it's supposed to be rainy and yucky on Friday.
Mhm.
So that, and we have Phipps, which is the botanical gardens here, which are just beautiful. Any time of the year, it's a nice trip to Phipps.
Mhm.
I think they've been to the Warhol. They've been on the incline, and my son Greg, who lives here, lives on Mount Washington. So they've been to Mount Washington.
Okay.
Have they ever been to Gloria Horn's sewing
They have
studio?
not been to Gloria
it's
Horn.
okay.
So this, I think, is
Maybe
the
we'll
most
give them
exciting. You get a travel bug.
or the beer glass. We'll give them.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really so much to do in Pittsburgh. And Hannah, Tim's fiance, who's also here, has never been to Pittsburgh. So we're getting the whole tour. All right, so what I do then is just make sure that the armholes are done nice. And they look pretty good.
Mhm. They look perfect.
They do.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've done this a couple times.
Mhm.
So if you see how they lay flat, if the seams were going in different directions, it wouldn't lay as flat. That's why I pinned through the seam,
Mhm.
because then it lays nice and flat. See, I think the insides of your clothes should be nice too.
Yes, that's
That's why you make them.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So your dress is basically finished, except for the hem and the buttonholes.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, so we've done all of the steps to here, and then
Can you show a close up of the shoulder seam inside?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yep. Everything's covered.
Mhm.
Is that
Okay, where should I be looking? Let's see.
it? Wait, let me put my hand under it. How's that?
Yeah. There you go.
Wonderful.
Okay.
How close
So-
do we want to go? Could you hold it there one more second?
Mhm. Like there, you see the seam. There you go.
There's the seam right here.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so the inside is completely lined, which is nice. And so then it's an 1.25 inches. Yes, it's an 1.25 inches seam. So what we're going to do is use our hot hammer, and I pulled out the bigger one. And somebody asked about the markings, and there are markings on it from the edge, actually both the short end and the long end. It shows you the quarter, the half, the 5/8, the 3/4, and then the 1. And then when you move ahead, you just have to remember it's an 1/8, a quarter, 3/8, a half.
Mhm.
That it's just like your ruler.
Mhm.
So this one we're going to turn up 1.25 inches, which is right there.
That's quicker because you don't have to
This is
mark it.
much quicker. You don't
Mhm.
have to mark it. Okay, so we have, and you just press right over it,
Mhm.
which is really nice. I think this is one of my favorite tools.
Hot ruler large.
The hot ruler large.
Mhm.
It's 14 inches long.
Jenny,
Okay.
do you want to
Yeah.
show them the package?
Okay, so this is a Clover item, and it's called the Hot Ruler Large, and so it is 4 inches wide by 14 inches long. That's nice that it's larger so that you don't have to stop and move it along.
Yeah.
I think this is great, especially if you have, are a person that needs to hem their pants a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you're not sewing clothes, if you're just altering, I think that's a nice.
So all the people
Notion.
that say, "Oh, you sew. Here's a pair of pants. Can you
Yeah.
hem them for me?" Because that happens all the time. Here, let us tell you about a tool.
Yeah. You can hem your
You
own
can
pants.
do it yourself.
It says how to use: fold fabric over roller, match edge to the size needed, press.
Yeah.
Very easy.
This has a little bit of a curve across the seam, so you do want to play with it.
Teach a man to fish, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's the funniest thing when people say, "Oh, I have this. Oh, you sew. Oh, I have this whatever to be hemmed." And oh, it's really easy. Okay, then do it yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's just so that they don't have to pay you what you're really worth. All right, so we're going to do the lining too at the same time, just so that we make one trip to the
Sewing machine. Yeah.
to the sewing machine. But this would be a good time if you have a serger. You could serge the top of it just to finish the top of your hem, which I do sometimes.
We happen to have a serger in the other room.
Is there one in the other room?
There is.
Okay.
It
Is
would
it
be.
threaded? Does
It
it have
would be
thread
the
in it?
Baby
Let me
Lock
go.
Triumph.
Yeah. Want me to
It's-
go
it's
look and
not.
see what it's.
Let's save it for next week because
Okay.
we're
Okay.
going to do a lot of
Yeah.
surging next week.
Yep. All right, so that is all. Okay, that one's all done. All right, then we're going to do this one. Because these are the same length, I would do this one, and this is how I did mine. I would do it a little bit shorter, like a half an inch.
Okay.
So rather than 1.25 inches, I would do it 1.5 inches. So that would give 1.75 inches. Then it gives you a half an inch difference. That way the lining doesn't stick out below the hem. So this one. I didn't do on when you stitch the lining to the dress back. It tells you to leave an opening. It tells you to stitch between the stitch to the dot, but then they also had another little marking. So I had marked those two, and I know why they do this, so that it doesn't get messed up in the hem, which is kind of nice. You do a little notch in the block, and you stitch to the dot. So if you looked at the instructions, that's why it tells you to do that.
Okay, here's a question.
Okay.
What happens if you're at a quilting retreat and someone asks you to hem
Your
groom's-
pants,
a
the
groom's
hem
pants?
Yeah.
for a groom.
Oh,
for a groom's pants.
So maybe he had a rough night the night before.
You can take you can take pity on
Someone
him.
walked by and asked if we could hem pants for a groom, for a groom's pants.
If you have a hot hemmer, you could do.
It would be great if you had that in your collection. Yeah.
You could always say, "I don't have my hot hemmer with me."
Well, it's funny, but I now take a little sewing kit with me because I have been to several weddings.
Yeah, we do too.
That somebody needs, something hooked or yeah.
Libby would say absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I might take sympathy. All right, so there's that one. I really like the way they notched that. That's kind of a nice little gadget.
Not in this lifetime.
Not in this lifetime.
It's almost like people are fascinated. Oh, you know how to do that. There've been several people that have come in that have said, "Oh, I really want to learn to sew. I learned, in high school or whatever." And or didn't learn in high school, but now they're bringing it back in Pennsylvania. So that's good news.
Yeah, that is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we can go all the way across. This is a much straighter piece. Not everything is going to hem straight across. Sometimes you have a curved hem. When you have a curved hem, you want to use the shorter side because you don't have
Right.
as much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um,
So that's nice to have the 4 inches.
yeah. So that
instead
really,
of-
if you had something that was curved, if you can do it this way, then you can curve it around.
Mhm.
They did it for him. They hemmed his pants, and at the end of the wedding, he brought them flowers.
Oh, that was
well, that
nice.
was nice.
You know,
You
maybe
did.
he could have brought something from the cookie table. That would have been nice.
Mhm.
So some people do appreciate it.
Mhm.
We were in Maryland. I was a Girl Scout leader, and we were at an event at a hotel, and people were bringing in boxes of stuff, and I realized they were cookies. Turned out that the wedding was one of my college friends' brother,
Okay.
and we had half the banquet, and they had the other half. And they invited us. They invited me over to get cookies, so I brought cookies over for the girls.
oh, that was nice.
Yeah, the girls are like, Mrs. Snyder knows somebody everywhere.
Yeah. And then, was that in when you lived in
That's
Maryland?
when I lived in Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of time,
People don't know what cookie tables
yeah,
are.
that's a Pittsburgh thing.
And in Pittsburgh, it's not what did the bride look like, it's what did the cookie
The
table,
table look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have all of those done. We're going to go back to the
Okay.
machine.
Okay.
Machine.
We're going to switch feet again.
Mhm.
Ooh. Here's a clip on the floor. That's not good.
Okay. Yeah,
All
they
Yeah.
things seem to fall. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
It's very slick on this floor. So,
Mhm.
It's also at a slant. These
Oh,
are
is
some,
it?
These are some old buildings.
oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
was,
for sure.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
feeling like I was really loopy down here. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't want to fall or anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
back at our at our store, that one sometimes you felt like you were going to roll out into the hall and down the steps.
This one you can roll straight into the closet.
Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, I think that's good. All right, so I am going to do a zigzag to finish this.
Mhm.
Direct them to the nearest dry cleaner. They can offer alterations.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
true. That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, there was I can't say it was a customer. There was a person that called yesterday and said that they had a rip in their pants and they were near the store and they were going to stop in and have them repaired. They said, "Well, we don't do that." And I said, "Go to the dry cleaners."
Okay.
That was the best
Oh,
quick
that-
thing if
Yeah.
they're
Mhm.
I don't know
Or
if she
you
was
just
wearing them.
just buy a machine.
Yeah, they
Well,
could
I
buy.
did say that.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah, you
we have
could-
a machine. We can show you how to sew.
Yeah. Hmm.
Why not?
All right. So I'm going to do stitch 109, but I'm going to make it shorter. Oh, that makes sense.
Hmm.
All right. So I'll make it a little bit closer together and probably just a little bit smaller. There we
Okay,
go.
so you're at 2.5 and 0.8
0.8.
for length.
Yeah. So let's see what I think I'll like this
Mhm.
one. Oh yeah, that looks good. So I'm just finishing this off with a zigzag just across the seam across the bottom of the hem. You can turn it under, stitch it a quarter. Excuse me, but I thought this was better.
Mhm.
Speed it up a little. There we go. And when you get to your seams, make sure that your seam is flat and you're not going to
Mhm.
push it to one side. And you want to do this on the right side.
Just bake for the cookie table.
Yeah, I've put together a couple of cookie tables, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
A few under your belt.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Yeah. Then we did a lot with people would make them, and then we bought some that people made, and then we also went to a bakery and got some. Yeah.
So is it public knowledge that my cousin Richard is getting married?
Yeah, he's engaged, and at your wedding, he came up to your mother and I and said, "How do I get a cookie table at my wedding?" and he lives in North Carolina, and I think
It's spreading.
Yeah. So yes, that's right. It's spreading from state to state. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just trimming some of the little strings. So it just cleans it up. And it looks very neat. Nothing fancy. Okay, and then what we want to do is we're going to change the feet. Again, we're going to use the R foot, which everyone has an R foot with their machine. It's the blind hem foot. And it might be a foot that you help you with is to know what your feet do and how to use them. All right, so I'm not going to worry about the lining yet. So what I do is I pin as close to the hem as possible. I'm getting my other thing. I pin as close to the hem because this is going to be folded back and you don't want to catch the pin underneath. So it's a little more to the bottom than to the top. Again, we've got that crazy seam. Make sure your seam is straight and going over. And you need to put enough pins in it that it's not going to be sagging anywhere. You want it to be as straight as possible.
This is where that magnifying lens comes in handy. That's what Susie says.
Oh, okay. The one that connects to, I think we have one out in the hall, out in the other room, where it clips onto the table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or there's also the baby lock one that connects to the machine.
It's nice that they have a lot of things for aging eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And some people's eyes age way younger than others, so. All right, so the foot is, this is the R foot.
Okay, let's see the R foot.
It has an R on it. It has a little toe in the middle. And this one, there we go. All right, we go to stitch 2. In the second part, we do 201. 202 is also a blind hem if you are doing knits, but we're not doing a knit, so we're going to do that one.
Okay.
And, all right, this is the tricky part. So this is your hem, and you're going to fold it back. And you want to keep your fold as even as possible across the top.
I think I'm going to come over to the...
Mm-hmm.
However's
Is that
comfortable
good?
for you. Yeah, you're good. I'm
Okay.
going to come over to this side.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to have the toe right along the fold.
Can they see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you see
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good.
that? Okay. And then we'll slow it down a little bit. All right, so we start it right at the edge, and it's stitched, well, it's locking right now, but it's going to go left, and that picks up the hem. So this is actually the garment, so you would see that on the outside. Got a little too close. I think we're okay. All right, got that little bit caught underneath it. Okay, but we're good.
So is it customary to take home a bag of cookies too?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
yes, take home. Yeah, they usually give you
We
a
can have-
bag or
a box.
maybe a box, yeah, to take home.
What if
It's nice the next day, when you're tired, you can have a cookies.
have a cookie?
Or
Yeah.
you can eat them on the way home
Yeah.
from your travels.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if no one gives you permission, you can just bag up your cookies and go at the end of the night.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Oh.
they expect you to take them.
It used to be like that. People would wrap them in napkins and put them in their pocketbooks.
Mhm.
I'll get this eventually.
Linda, the
What it,
blind hem.
What I would do if you're afraid to do on your garment first, just take a strip of fabric and make a hem, fold it back, and then just stitch down just to practice. You can make adjustments. The width is what is going to go left and right. So if you wanted to make that a little bit smaller so it doesn't take as big of a bite, you can do that. And the length, you probably don't want it too much closer. Maybe you want it a little bit wider, a little bit longer. But I have made some adjustments depending on the fabric that I'm using to the width.
Yeah, the lighter weight, the fabric, the narrower
Right.
you'd want your width.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff just takes practice. And if you've been sewing a long time but never sewed garments, it definitely takes a little practice. But with children's clothes, it's nice because they're little and they're usually not as complicated as adult garments.
okay, Jody, what about what Susie's saying right here?
Okay, I went ahead and folded my hem back and pinned
Pinned
it after it was folded for my granddaughter on hers.
Mm-hmm.
So her stitching was even. It worked better. It worked better for her that way. Okay, I went ahead and folded my hem back and pinned it after it was folded. Yes, you can do that too.
you can
You
do that
fold
too.
it back, and so that you don't kind of lose the fold of your fabric. Yeah.
Okay, so our hem is stitched.
Why do they call it a blind hem?
Well, because you can't really see it from the other side. Yeah, so all you'll see is just a little bite into the fabric.
You can see just these little teeth. And I find that this does seem like it's more of a pressed edge. If you use a little best press on it,
Yeah,
it takes that
that
right
out. Yeah, I would press it after I
Yeah.
use the blind hem.
Yeah.
So it kind of puts a crease into it.
All right, so we take our pins out and then we would press it. But
And there is help on the machine for how to fold your fabric. So
you want to show that?
Yeah. So if you go up here to where the little, and this is on many of the baby locks, starting with the Ariel and the Journey, and going on up. But you'll see a little right here. Looks like a little piece of film with a question mark on top of it. So you touch that, and then we could go into the sewing guide. Okay, and then this it has 2 pages. The first page has to do with clothing sewing, and the second page is quilting. So let's say we want to do a buttonhole. So I would touch the buttonhole, okay, and then it gives you a list of all the buttonholes that are on the machine, and it tells you what they're used for. So like the first one is it's thin and medium weight fabrics for horizontal buttonholes, and then the next one is for thinner medium weight fabrics, and then you go, these are stretch fabrics, these two, 10 and 11, And then she says suits is number 13, so that has the keyhole on it. And then jeans and trousers is number 14, and then thick coats is number 15. So you would just select the buttonhole that you want while you're there in the setup menu. So let's say we wanted number 7, so we're going to touch that, and then it will walk you through all the steps you need to blind hem. And the first one is mark the position and the length of the buttonhole on the fabric. And so you would mark where it begins, and then the next page is how to attach the foot. Okay. And and then, okay, you know what? We're on buttonholes. We're on blind hem. Let me go back. Anyways,
this is good too. I mean, I didn't know
okay.
We are going to do buttonholes next,
we
so
are
we're
going
close.
to, yeah, we are going to
blind
do.
hem.
Okay,
Blind
well,
hem.
Jim. Okay, so there's 2 stitches, and they're in menu number 2. And the first one is the second one is, it says stretch fabrics, and the first one, it says other fabrics. So that's your woven.
Woven.
Yeah, so you touch it there, and then it shows you how to fold the fabric. You can see right here, there's a single layer of fabric, and then it's folded. So you've got 3 layers on the left and a single layer on the right. And then you just, and it shows you how to put the foot on, and you can see right there. That's a good picture of it, where there's a little red dot there. It shows you where the needle's going to drop down and bite into the fabric. So it gives, and that's what it looks like.
On the back and on the front.
Yeah, and I'll do the buttonholes when we get. I
Yeah,
guess
we're
I have
doing that
buttonholes
next.
on my mind. Yeah, and that's what it will look like on the right side of the fabric. You'll just see little tiny stitches. Yeah. Okay. And what I like when I do that, let's say we go back to return, close everything out, the stitch, you did select it. It's there.
That was on there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where are we?
Where are we?
Okay. So with the lining, you can do the lining the exact same way with the blind hem, but I like to turn the lining under twice. So match it to the fold, and then turn it up, and then top stitch it, which is just as easy. I think it's sometimes easier. And so the inside, oops, there we go. There's that little piece under there. So that, the very beginning of it will match the seam where that little notch was. And then that'll fold back over.
Can you hold it there for 1 second? Let me see that. Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right, and then we're going to top stitch it. So we're going to go back to that.
Let's go over here.
We'll do a 3 and just a straight stitch. And you can, with the J foot, it has the clear guide. And a lot of times I just do that to run, just so I know it's going to be along the edge. And then just move. If I want to move my needle left and right, I do it here. Oh yeah, I do. On other machines, if you're doing a straight stitch, it's just the length that you move. Okay, so that's going to take it. So then I just run this clear edge of the J foot right along.
Joni,
Oh, we didn't lock the, here.
Here's a good question.
Okay, sometime do a quick overview of darning on the Solaris Vision. Okay.
What is darn?
If you have like a little hole in your fabric, and you can use, there's a stitch that you can use, and you actually use the buttonhole foot, and it will kind of fill it in with stitches. So you might want to put something behind it.
I think, don't they have those stitches on most of the machines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Thank you, June Brown. I now know what darning means.
Yeah.
I learned so much.
Yeah.
People used to do it by hand, and they called it an egg, and it was sort of an oval shaped wooden piece that they stitched over. I hit a pin.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
That's why you don't hit a pin, because then your needle comes unthreaded.
Yeah, we can find a. Here, this is.
And when you hit a pin, you don't want to leave the needle in.
Here.
We have them.
Okay.
Thank you. Are these sharps? What we're using?
Wait. Let's see. These are.
I like sharps or universals.
Let's see. These are all embroidery. We should have. Let me look out here in this little. There's a little basket out here with needles.
Well, we definitely need to replace the needle. And we're not done sewing because after this we're doing buttonholes. So Joni has already given us a little
twin
preview.
Here. These are
I
sharp.
told you, Mercury's in retrograde
Yeah,
today.
I know.
What's that, Peach?
Yeah,
He's in here filming.
It's been a crazy
It's
week
wild.
with
Okay,
with
yeah, I have
Jean
a-
gone. It makes me
Here's
crazy.
an 80 sharp.
Oh, perfect.
See.
Thank you.
There you go. You got it? Okay.
I got it.
I'll put them in here.
Tell because it has a green top. All right. Yay. Again, I never get tired of watching it do that.
No, you never do.
That's
Yeah.
magic. Yes. All right, so pushing you down. Let's do that again. So it'll lock it.
What did you do just there?
I hit the locking, the
Okay.
reverse.
Yeah.
Taking my pin out. That's a good lesson on taking pins out.
Here you go.
All right. So now we are going to go back to the table and we are going to mark our buttonholes. And we always take a practice piece. And one thing I'm going to do before we do this, we used embroidery thread for the buttonholes and found that it looks a little bit better. So I'm going to switch this real quick to that. Where my thread went. It helps if your thread isn't twisted. So, and then Joni's going to do the buttonhole on the machine for you. I think you're becoming our buttonhole expert.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so
Let's
first,
go back over
we'll mark.
here.
Okay, we're coming back up.
Yep. And I'm going to do a quick press on that, and you can see the. Oops.
That looks
Those
really
little
nice.
tiny-
Yeah, so you really. So there's your blind hem. I don't know if
Yeah,
they.
I think it came out pretty good. Let's see what it
Yeah,
looks like on
see.
the other side when it's pressed. Clip my threads.
Which one are you sewing? Like which size balloon dress here?
This one actually is the smallest one. This is the 18 month.
To 4.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the bigger size is 5 to 8. No, 5 to 10. And if you want to do the 12 or the 14, you order the pattern and we will cut the fabric because we didn't know how many of those kits we were going to need.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that option, I guess, listed here. So should they call?
So if you just call, we'll
Okay.
cut it for you. Okay, so we're just going to go across. Just get it pressed and then flip it.
Are we gonna do buttonholes Today?
Mhm.
Oh, all right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Linda said I found it difficult to use the Solaris buttonhole foot. Are you using the buttonhole foot?
Mhm.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there are 3 different buttonhole feet. There's the white one
Yeah.
that's just like the jubilant up
Mhm.
to,
Yeah, it's really all plastic.
yeah.
And that goes, I believe that goes up to the soprano. And then they have one that is part metal, and that will be everything but the Solaris. And then the
Right.
Solaris is a little different.
It has a really different one.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Joni's doing it.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that came out pretty good.
Okay, where am I looking?
If you look at the hem, the
Just those little stitches peeking through.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what you
can
want to.
see.
That's all you want to see. It's
and
just like
that
that.
iron took that seam out pretty nicely,
Mm-hmm.
or that fold. There's a fold here. Let's get rid
Yeah.
of that one. Okay.
The Panasonic 360 cordless.
Yes.
So that's the back.
Sounds like
That's the
it.
outside, and then
Mhm.
that's the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really easy, quick little thing to put together. All right, then this is where I never remember. I have to look at the directions because it tells you. I think we put them on this side. With the dress back facing upward, buttonholes on the right-hand side. So this is where we're going to put the buttonholes.
Okay.
So in order to mark them, I still haven't found the buttonhole tool in my collection, but I'm still looking.
Oh, really?
The thing that
Oh,
opens.
yes. That's a nice.
Yeah, it really is a nice thing to use.
Maybe we should get that in.
Yeah, we really should because it
mhm.
is a nice tool for buttonholes. All right, so you have a seam allowance out there, and then you have a hem. All right, we're pretty good.
Mhm.
So we're going to pin in between all the buttonholes.
You see, you pin the tissue right back
Pin
on.
the tissue back on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so this is all the time. Your center back is always a 1/2 inch from the fold of the
Okay.
center back.
Mhm.
And usually the button is a 1/4 of an, or like an eighth to a 1/4 of an inch, and it does look like that's what they did on those. And I think some of the patterns call for a 1/2 inch button, which is really little. And that is not the easiest thing for people to use. Okay, so friction.
Okay.
So if you take your friction pen and you've lined up, the folds and the center front are all lined up. And then you draw the beginning. And then I draw just a straight line to that, not necessarily the same length of it, just so that I can see where it's going.
And she's using the friction pen that will
Come off with heat,
yes. So.
which is a wonderful invention.
Mm-hmm.
And they have them in different colors, and there's also a white one. So if you're doing a dark something, you can still use one. Okay, the bottom. And then the line. If you do, this is the smallest size. This one has 6 buttons. It starts 7 with the 24 month, and then it goes like 8, 10.
Oh, really? So the buttons are definitely the designer touch to
Yep.
it, because there's a lot of buttons.
All right, so once you get them all stitched in, 2 more.
So, Joni, when you were describing sewing a flower on Mara's pants the other day,
Yeah.
would that be considered darn?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's just, but instead of I covered up. She had a hole in her pants, and she it was back years ago when she was young, and she would go out to bars and nightclubs and stuff, and back then you could smoke, and she didn't smoke, but somebody dropped a cigarette on her pants, so it was like a burned hole in down at the bottom, above the hem. So I took a little tiny butterfly that was built into one of the machines. Yeah, and I matched the thread to her pants. I didn't change it, the colors or anything, and I put a little butterfly over the hole. So that would be a way of darning. Yeah.
Right. All right. So all the buttonholes are marked.
Okay.
I'm going to let you.
Okay.
I'm going to give you that. Joni's going to go and set up the machine, but while she's doing that, I'm going to show you again how we cover the buttons.
Okay.
So the buttons, we decided after looking at how you want the back of your dress to look. When I did the initial dress, and I thought, let me do the pastel buttons, but the balloons are too colorful. So I started most of them. So we have them. Joni has one in the, she has one in the buttonholer. All right. So we are going to, you cut out the piece. This is what comes with the pattern. You're going to cut out as many balloons or as many pieces that you want to cover, pieces you want to use. Now, I really like this one. You want it to be in the middle of that little silicone mold. So if you line it up, okay, that looks like it's in the middle. You take the cap, you have a cap piece, and you have the shank piece, which is the back. So you're going to take this. There's a little pusher, for lack of a better word. You take this and you push it into the mold. Maybe. Okay. And then you fold all of the little pieces into the center. And you really want to make sure that all of those little pieces are in, because sometimes the folds move back. And if they do, use a pin. If they do, you just want to pull them toward the center. Then you take the shank back, and I prefer to do it on a firm surface. And then you push. Oops.
There you are.
Okay, then you push until it pops in. Yeah, I don't think this one wants to pop.
Do you have a little bit too much fabric?
You shouldn't, because you used that.
You use the template.
Let me see. Yeah. And I can tell you from personal experience, do not hit this with your hand. Oh, did I lose it?
Yeah, I think I heard something kind of
It went
playing.
across the room.
Went across.
You do
Yeah.
not want to hit it with your hand because it bruises your hand.
It sounded like it went over here, but yeah, it might have rolled
honestly, it's easier
it might have
than
rolled
what I
down
just
here,
made it look like.
Yeah, it may have rolled. Let's see, because this floor is not cool.
So, another thing to be careful
Okay,
of.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Maybe you want a little mallet, but I bruised my hand by hitting them with
I'm
my
thinking
hand
that maybe it might have
continually.
rolled underneath here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Find it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have another. There's another.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, that is how you. That's
Yeah.
not exactly how you do it, but that's close to doing
You don't
it.
want to. Yeah. Okay.
Once it should snap, and what you need it to do is you need it to be it needs to be snapped into place, because if it's not snapped into place and it's sort of angled funny, and that's what that one looked like, it's not going to be, you're not going to have it all connected.
Okay.
So, and once they're in, these things you really don't want to pull off. They're very difficult to pull off.
Mhm.
So these are our buttons, and our other one, other one we'll find. So again, this one needs 6. The bigger ones, the next couple sizes up are 7, and then
It flew away because it was filled with helium.
it was a helium balloon. Yeah, it could be.
That's
What does
really
it
cool. So a lot
say?
of fun, just kind of picking the different.
The biggest
parameters.
size takes 11. Yeah, it's really fun to do the different ones. And I do think it's funny that PJ called this one,
Blue.
this dress was the yellow dress, which I kept calling it blue, and he kept calling this one,
Yellow.
no, this was blue and this was yellow, and I kept calling it blue and white. But actually, the better buttons were the blue and the white one. So, yeah. So that was that. Okay. So
Okay.
Joni is going to show us the buttonholes.
Okay. So I'll go back and go through that little help menu. So yeah, so we're going to go up here to what little question mark is, and then that opens up, and these are all the different places you can go for help. And I did look to see if there was a video on it, but there was not. But what I would do is go to the sewing guide, and this all has to do with sewing clothing, and the second page has to do with quilting. So let's say we wanted to do, okay, sewing guide, and we wanted to do a buttonhole, and it tells you with each one of those buttonholes, like what type of fabric you should sew on, and then so you would select the buttonhole, and let's say I wanted to do that one, and then it will show you the marking, which Sherry showed you. There's 12 pages of instructions. They tell you the width, the length, and the tension, and also it will tell you to put the foot on, and then you'll put the button right in the front. Now this on the Solaris, you'll put it in the front of the machine, and I'll show you after we go through this. We'll bring the camera over here, and then it's telling you how to line up your fabric and your buttonhole. So we want to see that little marking right inside where that A is, and then to hold the thread out, and then you start to sew, and you'll sew it, and then you open it up. So, and then you can use your, everyone got a eyelet cutter with their accessories, and you can use that to cut the keyhole buttonhole, the round part of it. And then it says, when sewing on stretch fabric with 410 or 411, sew the buttonhole stitches over a gimp thread. So you can, you would
It's a
attach
heavier,
the thread
like
to
buttonhole twist fabric.
the like buttonhole twists, or a real like a heavier thread, and then and so it's and then it tells you how to do that. So you would hook it onto the foot and sew over it, and that way your buttonholes won't stretch out. So there it is. That's what it's going to look like, and then you'll trim those little the little cording, and that's page 10. And let's see, page 11. And so this is just gives you a little bit more information about the foot and like the parts of the foot. So A is the presser foot scale. Okay, that's where that, and then the buttonhole plate is right here where you place the button. Complete measurement of diameter and thickness is C right here. Okay, and that will make more sense when we start to sew. And then D is that is right, let's see, D is right here. That's approximately 3/16 of an inch. Okay, all right. So they're showing you how to measure the button, the width of it, and the height. Okay, all right. So we're going to go to, we'll go back to home, and I'm just going to go to sewing, and we're going to go to the buttonhole menu, which is number 4. Okay, and so these are all the different buttonholes in that that help guide will tell you which ones are what or for what. Sherry wanted to use this one, the decorative stitch one. It was number 6 because it had 2 rounded ends on it. So we selected that. Okay, now
Oh, and it saved it.
it saved it. So she wanted to make a little bit of an adjustment to it. We can go, let's see, here. I'm just going to go back to the default. And the default, I know what the default is because it has the black box around it. So she wanted to make the stitch length a little bit shorter and the width a tiny bit bigger. So when I select, but we save the setting. So when I touch that, it goes to what we programmed in. And I know that because it doesn't have the black box around it. Okay.
And the length I made shorter so that the stitches were closer together.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was kind of important on a buttonhole. But you're always going to practice your buttonhole first. So if you're not real happy with it, you can make some adjustments while you're practicing.
Now, and for all the stitches in this in the utility stitch menu, you can save up to 5 different settings. So if I go to memory, let's see. Oh, wait a minute, not memory, but retrieve. There, I should have hit retrieve. So there they are. There's the 2 that we've saved. Okay, and you can save up to 5 different settings for every one of the stitches in the utility stitch menu. And all those, yeah, so that's a lot of stitches. Okay, so let's make sure we got everything right. Okay, we have the right setting. And now we're going to go to the foot, and that just snaps on.
And do you have your button or no?
No, I don't.
Oh, and we found the button.
Oh, you did find it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's perfect.
Okay, all right. So, so we're going to take this and just lower the foot over the little metal bar on the foot, and we'll drop that down. Okay, now this one is for the Solaris, and you will put the button in the front right here. Now, on the other machines, it goes in the back. This is in the back of the machine. Okay, and then what you'll also do if you have the other machines, there's a little lever, a gray lever, and that has to come down. Okay, so, and it won't let you sew if you didn't do that.
It tells you.
Yeah, you'll step on the foot control or to start the buttonhole, and it will tell you to bring the gray lever down. Okay, so, and then we're going to, I'm going to, here, we'll take this, and we're going to bring our fabric underneath the foot. And right here is her marking, and it's going to start here and sew in reverse. So I'm going to tuck that underneath the foot and line up the marking with those red marks on the foot right here. Yeah, here I'm going to lower the foot so it might be. Yeah, let me just, I'll lower the foot, and you can see the red marks on either side, and then also right here in the center. Maybe I'm just a tiny smidge off there. And I think that's good. Maybe I'll bring it forward just another one. Yeah, okay. And you can see that, okay? And then you'll just start to sew. So we'll, now, okay, so I'm just going to hold this thread here so it doesn't kind of get sewn into the threads, and it will do a straight stitch, straight back. It's sort of like a padding stitch, and then it will come forward. Okay, and that's coming down the right side, and it's doing the bar tack, and then sewing back and reverse again. And now it's doing the bar tack, and it's stopped. I still have my foot on the foot control, so now I'll take it off, but it stops on its own. Now, I should have had my scissors on because then it would have cut it too, but we can just cut it. All right, and then the foot will come up. And there's the buttonhole. Look how nice
It's a
that
really nice
looks.
buttonhole.
Yeah, really nice. Okay. So I'll,
Fantastic.
yeah. Should I do another one or?
Just do one more, and then we'll.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
Did we run out of
Okay.
time?
All
Okay.
right.
I would
then
say
let's
so.
not-
That was really good, though. We can rewatch that.
Somebody
'cause that was a
asked
great
about
demonstration.
Yeah.
using snaps, and yes, if you have the cam snaps,
You can.
it would be really fun, and they
Yeah.
would be.
Mhm.
I would use different color ones. I don't think I'd use all the same color.
Okay, we're coming up.
Okay.
Okay.
Might do another one just-
Yeah, just, and then while you show products.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And then when you go to sew the buttons on, if you take, you have your buttonholes in place. I can show you. I didn't make any adjustments on these buttonholes, and together as we made the new ones. But they're still good. So that shows you where to put your buttons on, and then you just stitch those, and then your dress is finished and ready to wear.
Yeah, perfect.
Look at-
And perfect too.
Yay!
Uh-huh.
Carolyn just said hi to me.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'll let you guys get
Okay,
back
I'll
to it.
see
I
you in
just
a
want to
couple
say
minutes.
hi.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's okay. It's like
Okay.
professional work.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, so we have all of those. The one thing is Gloria has got in a new pair of pinking shears. So where's our scrap fabric? Let's hear what they sound like.
Okay. Mhm.
She really,
oh, yeah.
she really likes these.
Hmm.
I haven't tried these yet.
Okay,
So
what
let's
brand are these?
see.
These
These are LDH. Do you
Mhm.
know that one?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Oh, that looks nice.
Oh,
That
they sound good.
It sounds really good. And I like the way it goes all the way to
Goes
the
all
point.
the way to the point. Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so we do like these. I guess LDH is the. I don't know. LDH
yeah.
is the brand. Do you know? that?
Yeah, yeah. So there's, let's see if they have any information.
in Canada.
Yeah, our scissors are designed
they're
with
made in
love
China
in
or something.
Toronto, Canada, and mindfully crafted in our family factories outside of Hong Kong and Shanghai. Shanghai is at Shanghai, China. We are
Excuse our
proud to be
Chinese.
we are proud to be immigrant, female, and family owned. That's
Oh,
nice.
that's nice.
Yes, it is.
We like female-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
And love, dedication, happiness.
And I
So,
think these look like they're probably a 9-inch. They look a little bit bigger. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but they are nice scissors.
yeah, they are.
How about for lefties? Do they feel comfortable in your left hand?
Well, let's see. I don't know. Let me see. If I
Yeah,
can
if
cut
you could
left-handed.
let it, yeah.
You know,
They also
Sorry
come.
if I'm insulting any of you lefties.
It
Is
also
this how they
says,
would cut?
yeah, that would
Yeah.
pretty good.
be. Okay,
Yeah,
it
they're
also
cutting.
says that.
Yes, Linda, they're cutting.
Okay, so, and there's a 10-year warranty which covers defects in craftsmanship, parts, and materials. Full details are available on our website. So, yeah. So they
Okay.
do have a warranty.
Pinky
Yeah,
shears.
they're nice
Mhm.
pinking shears.
They are.
Yes, hopefully you've all decided that you need pinking shears now because
I think so.
I think we've shown
Mhm.
enough uses for them that yes, they're worth it.
And you should
This was the other thing I had to show. So remember I was saying about my old pair of scissors?
Okay.
So I don't know. Let's see. How can we see them? Oh, there you go. Okay, instead of being just pinking so that they're just
Oh, they're
little peaks,
scalloped.
they're scalloped, and they're with scissors, which I said to BJ, this is how I know how old they are. They're made in the USA.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't happen anymore.
You're right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So with that, and then I also picked up. If you'll hand me those books.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know people are talking about garments and that they'd really like to do some garments. So these are just some really good books. This
Mhm.
one is to sew for yourself, and it's a little bit of upcycling as well
Yeah.
as patterns. And I believe
Yeah, Sarah really liked this book, and we
there are
started her
patterns for
pants.
it.
We're going to finish them.
That's going to be our next.
Yeah, our next.
Dressmaking. They have full scale patterns in the back.
Yeah, I
and
looked at this book too.
And it
This
gives you
is-
an idea
Mhm.
of it used to be that you started with a sloper, which was just like this. It was just a basic something, and then you made the adjustments to it. And so that's what I think this is more like.
Mm-hmm.
And that is dressmaking. And then this one is the refashion wardrobe. So they're giving you an idea.
How to
This one's just, this is how to upcycle your things.
Mm-hmm.
So they give you a lot of good basic information.
Mm-hmm.
So that, just in case, I think people are starting to like the idea of sewing garments again.
Yes.
So we're very
Mhm.
excited about that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Even the younger people are getting into garment sewing.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Sewing coming back to schools, I think that
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
When next week is it? You guys
Next
go
week.
out?
Yeah.
They'll be
Mhm.
at
already.
Mhm.
Penn State,
IUP.
IUP, and Temple
Mm-hmm.
to show the educators. Tommy has made some kits
Mm-hmm.
for the classroom. So yay,
Mm-hmm.
going back.
So maybe this is a really good gift for somebody younger, for the younger sewers in your life.
Indeed.
There's
Mhm.
a lot of stuff. These are big, thick
Right.
books.
Yeah.
Well,
They really
they have
would
good
like
information in them. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. The upcycle
And
ones.
this
Okay.
Pants was from Sew For Yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's pants for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So for yourself.
And being that we're bringing Serger Saturday to Serger Wednesday,
Yeah.
we'll probably see this book very soon.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Do
Mm-hmm.
you want to run down some of the items that we had?
So we
Okay.
did the
Start from
kit.
top.
So if you're still looking for the kits, we have the balloon kit, which comes with buttons. I just don't have them in this.
Let's just go straight from the top.
Okay.
Okay.
The Lillian pattern was
Lillian
first.
pattern.
We saw that several times on the
Mhm.
past shows.
Yep.
So here it is again.
We've sold a lot of these. There's at least 35 dresses out there. Oh, and I do want to thank Linda Marlowe for sending me a picture of her granddaughter and her Mary D.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I love show and tell.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's
Okay.
that.
This
Then the
calls for
balloons.
in
Okay.
different sizes.
We have
Yeah.
two different sizes.
And this
Okay.
one we included.
We
the
included buttons in
button
these.
cover
Mhm.
kits and refills.
And the refills, yeah.
Um,
And then
Veranda.
we
Yellow.
have,
You
and
pull it.
yellow, I think we're really low on yellow, but I know we have the blue too.
Mm-hmm.
So just, if they're,
And then
Okay.
Some people since you last looked picked up blue.
oh, okay,
And the blue one is
this one,
this
Yeah, it
one.
has blue flowers.
Has blue flowers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this fabric line is called Veranda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
by Martha Pullen.
We just
We
talked
did
about
pinking shears, the pinking shears, the
Yes.
aloha dress,
The aloha dress.
and that pattern is available. We have those in stock. We will have the batiks, and we'll put them together in a kit just because they're just fat quarters. It's really easy. You might even have batik fat quarters in your collection.
Right.
And-
yeah.
It's as many as you want. I personally like it that it's different colors because I think it looks more festive, but
Mm-hmm.
that's your choice. All right.
And next we've got.
So Robert, are
Robert,
the
let's-
shorts?
Yeah, those
This is-
shorts are adorable.
This is for next week. So this is what we're
Mhm.
doing, and we will be surging. So this is the Robert pants.
I'm going to show the
and-
pattern first because it does not come with.
Oh, here's the pattern.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There we go.
All right. So this is the pattern. This is the Robert, and we will do. Oops. There we are.
Okay.
We'll do the shorts, and I have both lined and lined and unlined shorts because I'd like you to be able to do both. The shirts on there we will do one day. I don't have a plan for that one yet. I don't have
Mhm.
fabric yet that I love,
Okay.
but this is a size 6 months to a 6. Okay.
Which dress? Which dress?
The Aloha dress was, what did I say, to an 8, I think.
Yeah.
The,
Mm-hmm. There it is.
The
Yeah.
Aloha.
Yes, 2 to 8. I think you could probably draft a different top to that. So the Robert comes with the cars, the bicycles, and the fish.
Fish. Yeah.
So that would be the kit.
So you can make all three. They're so
and
cute.
It's a yard of each, so you can make more than one pair, I'm sure, in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it
Yeah.
also has, it has gold polka dots. This one has red in it, but it's because that's what I had at home. But it has gold dots for the for the shorts, for the lining of the shorts. And then these are the linen ones. And I don't know if I don't think we've done this.
No.
The kit is,
These will be in
yeah, this will be a separate kit. These are lined.
I think these are adorable.
These are really nice.
I can just see.
These are
Yeah.
linen. So what we'll do is we will serge the regular shorts. And then these, I've stitched them regular because they're lined. You want flat, you don't want a serge seam on top of a
Right.
serge seam.
Mhm.
But the one that I'll show you is not going to have the pockets because it's 6 month size. And I think that's kind of a,
Yeah, you don't need pockets
You don't need
when
pockets
you're
at
6
6
months.
months old.
No. Mhm.
so we will start these next week.
It's
Okay.
very exciting.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can get the button kit only.
I'm
Okay.
excited
that.
for the boys.
I know.
Yeah, I
I
am
am
too.
too.
Yeah.
I am too. There are a lot of
Mhm.
customers were waiting for boys something. So
Mhm.
This'll
Can't
be
wait
our
to get
first.
back on the serger, so that's
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
What size button cover kit did you use today?
For the smaller ones, we use the 5/8. For the bigger ones, we use the 3/4. And yes, we have it as the
So-
kit. The kit includes the mold, the mold and the pusher.
The button cover kit.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Button
here's
cover
the 5/8 inch button cover kit.
That goes with the 5-inch refill. And then the 3/4, we have both too. We have the refill and the button
Mhm.
kit.
You might as well get a refill kit
Refill, yeah.
while you're.
Yeah, if you already have this kit with the
Mhm.
little pieces in it to make it, you don't need to buy it again because then you'll just have a whole bunch of those laying around.
Mhm.
Right,
So-
Yeah, if you get the refill kit.
lots of
Yep.
Button cover refill kits. So
Yep.
these are in today, so they can get them right.
They're
away.
in.
Mhm.
Then the 3/4 inch button
Yep.
cover
Mhm.
kit we'll start with.
That's this one.
Okay, and you use that on the larger sizes.
This is for the bigger sizes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So the refills are now in for those
Mhm.
larger button
Yeah.
covers.
Right.
Let's see. Where do we
Let's
go from
see.
here?
So we've got other. Oh, if you need pins, we do have the glass head
Head
pins, which you
pins.
want glass head pins because you can
Oh,
press
press
over.
over. Mhm.
Got
And and don't forget to get your hot roller. That's a great
That's the
one.
best.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when you're in a pinch and somebody runs up and they say, "Hey, can
And
you have
put it
me-"
in your
Yeah.
purse.
And put it in your purse and have it with
For when
you.
you're at that wedding.
Yeah, at the wedding.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna put the Triumph in because we'll probably be using it next week.
Right.
Okay.
And Steve also wanted me to throw in something great.
Something. Oh, okay. Yes. So.
Something great,
if
something
you-
different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to put that in, and that one, if you put a $500 deposit on the new machine, which is totally refundable if you change your mind, then and you get a lot of little extra bonuses with that.
Right.
So we have special things that we're giving, and then I guess Baby Lock is also giving some things. And there is a limited addition to that, to the new machine, and so once they use them, they're gone. So you want to, if you'd like to have that, you'll probably say limited edition or something on it to differentiate it from the other, from the next one.
Oh, I guess
So-
we're no longer calling it something great. We can say we can actually say what it
Deposit
is.
on a
Yeah,
new
it's
machine.
deposit on a new machine.
It's on
Yeah.
a new machine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Do
Yeah.
you know there's very little we know.
Would
yet so far.
We know that it's going to have a bigger projector, and I think that's all we know. Is there something else? is-
It's not an upgrade to the Solaris. It's a
Right.
new machine.
Mhm. Yeah. So we don't know too much, but we're
We're sharing as
we're
much
sharing.
as we know.
Yeah. And as soon as we find out, we'll let you know what it's
There was
going
just a
to
little
do.
girl dancing through a farm or something with
Yeah.
seeing the light.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how that
And
related
at
to
the end, she had
machine,
on a
but
cute dress with, it looks like somebody
Embroidery or
made
something?
with embroidery on it. Hmm.
Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can just throw it.
But it will be a sewing, quilting, and embroidery machine. There it is.
So there's
Okay.
where her dress changes, and
Hmm.
she's got on this beautiful dress.
Yeah.
playing behind you.
Yeah.
And
It
So
says
lighting the
lighting.
path of innovation.
Yes, it's got something to do with the, well, I think that's the bigger projector, but
Bigger light.
yeah. More light. You can always use a lot more light, right? When you're sewing.
True.
Okay.
Okay, I guess
Okay,
we'll
so that's
probably
what
hear
we
a
know.
little bit more about it. As
Mhm.
it
It's
goes
probably Kimberbell might know more by the
I
afternoon.
do knew it,
Right,
yeah.
this afternoon.
Sometimes that happens, so we get, yeah.
And,
Okay.
oh, we're done.
We're done.
We're
Done.
done right
We're
now, so
done.
you want to come in
We're
and say
leaving.
goodbye.
Yeah, say goodbye. Okay.
All right, we're off.
Farewell, sewing community.
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right.
I'll
All
put that
right,
in
thank
there.
you.
Mhm.
and we'll see you
All righty,
again.
we'll see you
Okay.
soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hey there. Sorry.